Yeah, look, they said that I couldn't do it, so I went and did it. W's only, you know I've been winning. Top of the world, the globe is spinning. If you know, I've been on a mission. Go. Okay, let's get it. Got a little time on my hands like a wristwatch. I don't got time for the breaks and the pit stop. Race through the gridlock, take it like Chris Rock. Right to the chin, still win. Heavy metals like Slipknot. Got the driving, I got tunnel vision. I just hit my stride the way I run the business. I've been making paper like I'm Dunder Mifflin. See the end game, I got one division. Look, I just did it. W's only, you know I've been winning. Top of the world, the globe is spinning. If you know, I've been on a mission. Go. Okay, let's get it.
The desert is calling, and this 1 miler demands precision, patience, and bold moves. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Eliza Bethel, alongside Matt Sisler for the Rattlesnake 125 at Phoenix Raceway. Matt, how you doing out there? Man, it's going to be a hot one tonight.
Eliza, I'm doing good. Glad I'm not on pit road because this with the heat wave sweeping across the country would have me dying already. But glad to be here for Phoenix. Should be a wild one. Let's hope our drivers can keep their cars under them for this race tonight.
I agree. We got a couple of trouble spots we're going to talk about, but first, you know what we got to do. We got driver spotlights. So let's bring them aboard. We have first off, the number 24 of Philip Bridgman for Bridgman Motorsports, and John Velocity, driver of the number 87. Welcome, gentlemen. How you guys doing?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
Good. All right, we're going to get started with the first question here. First question is there someone you study or try to learn from in the league? And if so, who is it? We're going to start with Philip.
That's kind of tough. There's so many great drivers out there in the field. It's tough because like a lot of them I try to stick with. I know it's kind of weird. Like me being the 24, I try to ride like kind of with the Hendrick cars out there in a way with like the 5, the 48, Francis and Brennan. But that's just a weird mindset that I always have. But it's I learned so much from so many people here. It's so hard to pick one specific person.
That's fair enough. I feel you. Yeah, it's nice to learn what different people are doing. I mean, it may not work for you, so you try something else and see what someone else is doing. So I feel that for sure. All right, what about you, John? Do you learn from anyone in here or try to study what they're doing in the league?
Yeah, I would say it's no one person in particular. Kind of joining mid-season, trying to week to week figure out, who's the fast guys, who's the dominant guys. So pretty much for me, after every race, I go back and kind of watch who I was racing against, who I was around, who I was battling with, to see what I can pick up from them. I'll go watch the leaders, see what they were doing, just see if I can pick up any little thing for the weeks going past, or when I come back to next season. But I kind of just try to look at everyone week to week. That way I get a good grasp of what I can do better for the coming weeks.
Yeah, great idea. I'm with you on that one for sure. All right, next question. Are you team socks or no socks when driving? And we're going to start with John.
I was hoping you were going to ask that question. I've been waiting weeks for this. I am actually team shoes.
Team shoes? Crazy.
Yep,
Really?
I used to be team socks, but then when I upgraded my pedals to a stiffer pedal, I found that after a while doing like endurance races and stuff on the roadside, that it would start to hurt my feet, so I started to put shoes on because I've seen a couple of the Coke pros do it, and ever since then I've been team shoes for about 3 years now.
Interesting. And do you have like thin shoes or just regular shoes?
I actually do have racing shoes that are classified as sim shoes, so they are on the thinner side.
Very nice. I can see that then for sure, but that's awesome. I didn't know that. Very cool. All right, what about you, Philip? Are you team socks, no socks, or shoes?
Honestly, almost on the same page. I use slippers, to be honest, but like a hard-soled slipper.
Yeah, fair enough. Man, The only shoes I don't have racing shoes or anything like that, but I've tried shoes and it was not good. So we're team socks here.
Sam,
Next question is, what is one thing we don't know about you? And we're gonna start with Philip.
honestly, there's not much besides like I've never been to a NASCAR race. Like they don't really come too much here on the Canada side of things. Besides like
Right.
the road course there in like Montreal, I think it is, or maybe it's in Toronto. It's between somewhere around there. But I've just never actually caught it, and like it would be really cool to actually see an oval.
Which oval?
I would love to see Chicagoland. To be honest, it would. So cool.
That would be awesome. I'm with you there. That's great. All right, John, what about you? What is one thing we don't know about you?
Well, piggybacking off of that answer is I haven't been to a cup race in about 20 years probably, since the
Really?
All-Star race is still in Charlotte.
Yeah.
But other than that, the only thing I'm like most proud of when it comes to sim racing is I'm the 2025 Daytona 24 champion with my team. I'm very proud of that.
Ooh, very cool. Congratulations on that. That's awesome.
That was an exhausting race and
I
it was
bet.
very rewarding at the end.
Yeah, for sure. All right, this next question, we're going to start with John. Pick 3 in real life drivers you would want to have lunch with.
Oh, that's easy. Gotta be Carson Hocefer. That's easy. Kyle Larson, who's my favorite driver.
Nice.
And I'm gonna throw one in the ARCA side, and I gotta go with Haley Deegan. She's been
Ooh,
my favorite
okay.
driver. That's who my paint schemes are based off of, both
Yeah.
Columbia Paint and Napa. So I gotta go with her.
That's quite a combo, I got to say. That'd be an interesting lunch for sure.
Very entertaining.
Yeah. What about you, Philip? Pick 3 in real life drivers that you would have lunch with.
Is this like only on the cup side, or?
It is any driver you think of. Doesn't matter. Cup, truck, anything.
Okay, well, like Hocevar definitely would be interesting. But depending like who you have him in the room with, I think could make a deal breaker.
Or interesting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure. All right, and this question is from Jose Ruiz from last week. He says, for next season, which road course would you want to run in reverse? And we're going to start with Philip.
Honestly, I think Coda would be really cool to see, because like going up the S's and then racing down the hill to the finish line, that'd be wild.
That would be crazy. Absolutely. What about you, John? Which road course would you want to run in reverse?
Well, it's more of a street course, but I think the Naval Base of Coronado would be fantastic. That track is hard
Ooh.
enough to get around going the normal way. Turning that around, jumping up the hill, that would be chaos.
I agree. It's already chaotic how it is now. So switching it up, yeah, that would definitely throw a wrench in things, kind of mix things up a little bit. All right, gentlemen, final question. Either one of you or both of you can answer it. What is a question that you want to ask next week's drivers? Either one of you can give me one.
What's your favorite food?
Favorite food? Very
That's a good one.
interesting. We'll ask it. I can't wait to hear this. John, you got one?
Let's add to that. What's your favorite beverage to go with that meal?
All right. We got it down, guys. All right. It looks like you guys are going to have a crazy race at Phoenix. I'm going to wish you a ton of luck. I hope to see you guys in the booth afterwards. I say it all the time. I'm hoping it's not going to jinx you guys, but man, you're going to have your hands full. It's going to be a hot one out there. So take it easy, take care of the car, and I wish you a ton of luck.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
All right, it was fun getting to talk to you. I'm going to put you back down in your chats, but yeah, we'll hopefully see you after the race. All right, Matt, I'm telling you what, it's going to be a crazy one. We've talked to these guys. What do you think are the things that we're going to have to watch out for tonight?
Well, I mean, we got to watch out for drivers just being more comfortable, more or less comfortable under braking into these corners. Phoenix is not an easy track. Definitely not a symmetrical oval like we go to, like in the vein of Chicagoland or Kansas. No, this is one where we have one very, very tight corner in 3 and 4, and we have the dog. We technically have 5 corners here, even though NASCAR says 4, because everybody cuts the dog leg with a hard left. So it's just going to be, where can people get on the brakes? You're going to see people be a lot more comfortable getting back to the gas in the corner as well. And I think we're going to have to be wary of guys spinning out with that same thing. People will think they can get back to the gas quicker than they can, and if that happens in the pack, I've seen big ones happen at Phoenix, especially off of turn 2 where it narrows. So just this could be chaotic if we start to get cautions. It's going to get chaotic.
I agree. You know, we've seen it in the past, and this is a difficult track. And I know a lot of drivers, they will be shifting down into those corners to try to get the car woed down. Coming out of exit 2, the wall comes up very quickly. So we're going to see a couple of drivers hit those walls coming out of there. And not only that, but man, if someone does hit the wall, if you're behind them, you have to be just absolutely on top of it to try to not hit that car in front of you. And we've seen it before. We've had a huge pileup. I'm hoping we don't see that tonight. But I want to give a shout out to you guys in chat. Mindless, yo, what's up? I hope you guys are doing well. These guys, they have their hands full tonight.
For sure. Phoenix is not one of my Phoenix is not one of my favorite tracks, so I'm definitely glad to be up in the booth for this one. I'd rather be watching one of them here because it should be entertaining, but if I was driving, there's a chance I'd be quite frustrated by the end of tonight's 125 lap race.
Yeah, watching these guys, I was talking to some of them, and they're saying, they're putting the brake bias all the way down, and not only that they're changing up their master cylinders, making sure that they have that turnability. So much so that some of these guys on the first or second lap, as you see the 5 car spinning right there, I know he was one of them, that was changing those master cylinders, changing them so much that in fact on that first and second lap where they have cold tires, they're spinning out. So that's something that we're also going to have to watch out for. And the change in banking. I mean, all of this stuff definitely upsets the car and how it runs.
For sure. This is definitely... You might raise an eyebrow hearing this comparison, but just hear me out. This is almost like going to Darlington where you have different corners. Like, turns 1 and 2 here, extremely flat. Extremely, comparatively speaking, you have them pretty flat, not a ton of banking on them. You can run pretty much you can run like any groove. But then we go down to 3 and 4, the old turns 1 and 2, which are very tight and has more banking on it compared to how the angle of the corner. Guys, you can run through there 3 and 4 wide, but you don't really want to. The primary groove is going to be the one on the bottom or just off the bottom. So you have to be able to, whoever can get their car to be balanced the best at both ends is going to have a chance to win it. Because if you have it set well for 1 and 2, odds are 3 and 4, it's going to be a handful and vice versa.
Absolutely. These guys are getting ready to go over to qualifying, but not only that, what you're talking about, they have to take care of those tires. I mean, we are going to see a lot of tire wear if you're abusing those. So we might see a couple of pit stops tonight. We do have 125 laps as we get ready to go to qualifying. But we might see a couple of pit stops here and hopefully long green flag runs. And I see you out there. No, I know Austin would want to see you cheering him on. Horseboat, how are you? I hope you're doing well. But we do have a couple of drivers already on the track. It's going to be Fortson Poston, the first one out. Tristan Helf, Nick Tarana, Philip Bridgman, who we spoke to in the booth, and I'm thinking he's a GTA 6 fan or just a GTA fan in general.
I mean, now that they actually have a near release date for it, and I think pre-orders are being taken, I'm not surprised. I've never been a GTA fan, but it's, why not? At this point, it's, oh my goodness, they've been waiting for how long?
Right.
It's not like I didn't play GTA 4 or 5. I did, but I never really got into it. It was always I bought a copy of GTA 5 and then it just kind of sat in my closet because it was not quite my type of game, but let's see what GTA 6 has in store. It could be as interesting as Phoenix qualifying.
That is true. We'll see how it is, but man, I can say that it's pretty insane, all the stuff that they have in it. I will say that they have great graphics, so we'll see how it goes. But take a look at these times. Philip Bridgman first on the board, 26.841. Jimmy Cocker goes to second, 26.448. Fortson Poston, who is one of the fastest, if not the fastest, he has a 26.1, and in practice he had a 25.9. So very, very similar in times from what we saw in practice. But man, these guys are absolutely flying, and they're keeping the car underneath them. Evan Adams with a heater of a lap, 26.2, with Jimmy Cocker moving back up to second.
Does that surprise anybody that Jimmy being one of the most consistently? Jimmy, if you look at the qualifying folks, one of the most consistent things you'll see is Jimmy Cocker in the top 5, and you'll also see, if they're here tonight, Thomas Harmon and Brian Pizzicchemi not setting a time at the back of the pack because they like the challenge of coming through the field. But Jimmy, always a good qualifier, always seems to have good race pace no matter where we go. So it should be interesting to see if he can hold up, if that second place time will hold up.
Absolutely. And this is one of those places where I've heard a few drivers say that they want to start in the back. They don't want to be involved in the chaos. Now, the thing is, how's that going to go? Because I feel like track position is going to mean a lot here. I mean, sure, you can make up some spots, but man, I do not want to be in the hornet's nest. So that's just something that you're going to have to decide for yourself.
For sure. And I think what some people are thinking is that they almost have a plate race mentality to this place. And I know people look at me like, go, what are you talking about, plate race? Because being in the middle of the pack here, you'd almost rather be at the tail when an accident happens because you're less likely to get run over or get punted into a wreck being, right down at the tail of the field than you are, say, 15th. If a wreck happens around 7th or 8th position, I'm not implying that Joe Berger, Tristan Helf, who are currently in those positions, are going to cause it. But at Phoenix, an accident can happen anywhere, and if it happens mid to the front of the pack, and you're in 15th, 16th place, you're going to probably run into it, especially early with everybody so close together. So you almost want to be further back just to try to keep the nose clean on the car, and then you take advantage of the track position later when you have 5, 6, 7, 8 cars that are running around damaged or out of the race.
That's true. I can see it that way also. And we have a couple of more drivers up there. Steven Maggio, he is out there P4 with a 26.1. Brody Folliger, he goes up to the top of the board, 26.1. Fortson Poston in second with a 26.164. Brendan Book with a 26.173. And I know talking to him before the race, he was just trying to figure out what he needed to do, what adjustments for the brake bias, the master cylinders, trying to get all that underway, and it looks like it worked out for him in qualifying. So great news for him. Steven Maggio out there fourth, and Jimmy Cocker, he's going to run out your top 5 with a 26.211.
Yeah, and solid runs also for Evan Adams in P6, about 11/1000ths behind Mr. Cocker. Brooks Mustang, a second career shake and bake start, also P8, a really nice job there with that 26.257. And then never count out Maelstrom Austin Mitty, qualified 9th, and he's back on his preferred surface this week, Eliza. He's running in oval as opposed to on the road course. I know he probably didn't enjoy Sonoma much last week, but he's definitely back on an oval. Don't count him out. We'll see what speed that 77 has as the race goes on.
I agree. He's got a lot of speed this season, so it's going to be fun to watch what he does with it. But here we go. We got the grid open. Brody Folliger on pole in that 42 machine with Fortson Poston to his outside in the 12 car. Brendan Book in row 2 along with Steven Maggio. And in row 3, we're going to have Jimmy Cocker with Evan Adams to his outside. Row 4 is going to be Luke Allen in the 7 car with Brooks Mustang in the 54. And in row 5, we're going to have Austin Mitty in the 77 with Joe Berg to his outside.
Row 6 is Tristan Helf with Matt Burgess, a pair of Ford Mustangs in that row. Row number 7, it's the 25 of Craig Meyer with Riley Sawyer alongside him. Jose Ruiz and Travis Stroney line up 15th and 16th for tonight's race. Rob Rossello and Joe Turley make up row 9, and Matthew Gale and Philip Bridgman make up row 10.
In row 11, we're going to have Nick Tarana in the 10 car with Thomas Harmon to his outside. Row 12 is going to be Francis Hamilton in the 48 car with Jordan McGraw in the 34 car. And Matthew Gale, he's going to be, well, we already did that, but John Velocity sitting P25th, and Michael J. Adams going to be in the 3 car sitting 26th. 27th is going to be Dakota Wilkins in the 44 with Doug Lockrow sitting P28th. And last but not least is going to be Brian Pizzakemi, who likes to start in the rear of the field. There he is, P29. And that is going to be our field tonight. 125 laps, Matt. It's going to be a wild one.
Absolutely. Definitely going to be a wild one, and we'll have to just see how these drivers handle it. Could be chaotic, but the good thing about Phoenix is it's definitely like a track that's going to separate on skill. So if we can get some green flag running in, you'll see guys who have that long run, that skill to have the long run speed in these cars at this tricky track, be able to separate and start to get runs. So if we can get, 10, 15, 20 laps, we will start to see separation, and then the likelihood of a caution goes down. It won't go completely away, but it'll start to go down.
Yeah, I think so. But the first couple of laps, definitely something we have to keep our eye out on. But here these guys go. They're lined up side by side as they get ready to go. Brody Follicker at the helm here. And, man, 125 laps, Season 6 here at Phoenix Raceway. It is going to be absolute insanity. And I'm kind of curious, drivers in chat, how many cautions do you think we're going to see tonight? Let me know. Give me a number.
Green flag, green flag.
Here we go. They're coming around. Green flag is out, and we are underway here at Phoenix Raceway. These guys doing a fantastic job. Already fanning out in the back, trying to grab everything.
Oh,
Brody! He loses it in the lead into the wall. The race continues on. He saves it, kind of brings it back out on track, but man, that is going to hurt him.
Yep, and everybody got to watch out back there, get around that 42 car. They do a nice job of it, but man, that's got to sting for one of our fastest and best drivers out here. It just shows Phoenix can get anybody. It can get anybody here, Eliza. First-time rookie or a long-time vet like Brody. Good grief.
Currently 28th. He lost that many spots after starting in the lead. So just a rough start here, but plenty of race left. And meanwhile, Brennan Book, he goes to the lead with Brody Follicker's teammate, Jimmy Cocker. He sits P2. Fordson Poston, a rookie for SnB, but I'll tell you what, this guy has a ton of speed. We just need to get his connection together because he's lagged out of a couple of races, unfortunately.
Yeah, and really unfortunate last weekend at Sonoma, last Tuesday, or Monday at Sonoma, excuse me. I can't get my days right. Last week at Sonoma, where he was running second, definitely had the pace to at least stay there.
Trouble.
Maybe. Oh, there it goes. Looked like the 29 involved, and they're more piling in behind. Well, it only looks like 2 cars. I believe Matt Burgess, the other car involved. Or Luke Allen. Luke Allen and Matt Burgess, so I was half right.
Go back on the replay here. I know Stephen Maggio involved, possibly. Yeah, the 29 looks like. Man, just tough. I'm going to go back and try to watch that again, but just brutal here.
Supreme car control from Stephen Maggio. Give him a ton of credit. That thing was out 90 degrees sideways, and he managed to bring it back. And for a next gen, getting thrown that sideways, that you don't save these cars. 9 out of 10 times when the car gets that wide, when he gets it past about 45-degree angle to the racing surface, you're usually just around. So good job for him to save that race car, and we're seeing
absolutely
a number of cars come down. And the good news is for our pole sitter, Brody Follicker, at least from what I saw, we don't know if there's any wheel damage on that 42, but from what I was able to see, it looks like he got away with like paint damage to that car, so it should be minor, and hopefully he'll be okay.
Yeah, he looks like he got very, very lucky. I mean, it was a pretty calm hit to the side, just kind of all over, not just strictly to the right front. So he got very, very lucky. But I'll tell you what, That hit with Evan Adams to Steven, I got to say again, as you said, what a heck of a save that Steven Maggio had. Just absolutely incredible in that 51. And he is a champion from last season, along with Brody Folliker for the Xfinity season. So 2 champions right there and involved in some shenanigans already at Phoenix.
Absolutely, and yeah, I mean, it's not a surprise to see Maggio have that level of car control. He's one of the best drivers I've gone against on the sim. So for Steven to make that save doesn't surprise me. It surprises me, and it doesn't surprise me. It wouldn't have surprised me if if the car had completely come around on him just because of how these Gen 7s are. But it doesn't completely surprise me that Steven would be one of the guys to drive out of a slide like that in a Gen 7 stock car.
Truth, I see you out there. He says, go Brody, Jace. You know, I don't know if I don't think he purposely ran him over. Absolutely not. But that's a different thing. You know, braking points for each individual driver. Steven Maggio is fantastic at saving those tires. This means probably going to have an earlier, braking point to get into that corner. He's fantastic at it, and it could catch some drivers off guard. I mean, that's how it goes. But Brendan Book, he's going to be leading us back to green as we have our first caution underway. You see Jimmy Cocker, too, is outside. Man, it's going to be tight, and this is where some shenanigans could happen again. Cautions breed cautions. Let's just hope not this time.
Indeed. Leading him back, Brendan Book and Jimmy Cocker. Book in the gas. He gets away a little bit. Better launch, though, from Jimmy as they start to fan out, and Forts and Poston immediately trying to go 3 wide to the bottom into turn 1. Oh, didn't get there. Book slides up and will hold the lead through 1 and 2.
Man, oh man, let's bring it to the blimp cam here. You got the 5 car in the lead. Jimmy Cocker all over him. He is going to go to the bottom heading into the corner. Brendan Book going to still have that lead, and you can see guys going 2 and 3 wide. Meanwhile, Steven kind of blipping out of the internet, in and out in that 51 car, goes into the wall slightly, but we are still green and already just a little bit of separation for these drivers.
Yeah, and again, it's the skill level at Phoenix. Phoenix is not an easy track, and even guys who have been on the sim for a long time, even me, who I've been on iRacing since 2020, Phoenix can catch anybody out. People will make mistakes. You don't always get, and the other thing is with iRacing spotters, you don't always get the call that you are 3 and 4 wide, especially if you're fairly spread out like we are here. We could see people coming together off the dog leg because they just don't know that they're like multiple cars wide.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's just sometimes how it goes. Luke, we got him in chat. He's a driver here in the SnB, says, did nothing wrong. I'm dead. Typical for me. Luke, if you ever want to have a chat, come up here in the booth and we'll give you an interview and see what happened from your point of view. But you definitely hate to see it so early in the race. Sure. Luke is an amazing driver, always fun to have out here. But yeah, tough night. We knew it was going to be tough out here. Currently on board with Riley Sawyer. Sits 11th. He started 14th in that 84 car, and you can see some of the drivers cutting that dog leg there, and that can sometimes get the car a little upset, but these guys are still off and running.
Yes, for sure. And that's another thing with these Gen 7s. These things do not behave like the other cars, and I know Eliza and I have practically beat this point to death already this season, that these cars do not drive like any other stock car on the service. One of the big ways, and it used to be a lot worse, you can testify to this, Eliza, is coming down across that bump, is the fact that this car, especially on low tire pressure, would hit that bump of the transition and want to spin out. And it's not been that prevalent. It's still there. If you hit it wrong, it's still there, but it's not as bad as it used to be.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a lot lesser of a feel than what it used to be, but you still have to mind it, especially if it's getting a little chaotic. You're going 2-3 wide. It can throw you off guard if you're trying to keep that thing underneath you, but so far these guys are doing just fine. We're on board with Jimmy Cocker. He's currently 2nd. He started 5th, so a nice run for him so far, and he is leading the points. And He went out on Twitter last week and said, I've had a lot of speed and I felt really good so far at every track I've been to. We'll see if it continues tonight.
I mean, it definitely seems to be for the moment. Phoenix can reach out and grab you. It's why this is not just that hill in the background off of turns 1 and 2, the reason we call this a rattlesnake. This track will come out and bite you even though you've done nothing wrong. So it can get anybody. We saw it with Brody. We've seen it with Steven. It can happen to anybody. I think it's a contact coming middle of the pack, coming off the dog leg. But right now, Jimmy doing a nice job just maintaining that gap to Brendan Book in front of him and the 12 of Fortson Poston behind.
I'm looking at a little battle between Rob Rossello and Matthew Gale. Almost some contact with Matthew Gale going up just a little bit, but Rob Rossello, he's going to be in 9th. Matthew Gale in 10th. Riley Sawyer right behind him. You can see these guys just trying to save the tires, trying to get every single position that they can, but we got a little bit of a race ahead of us. I'm kind of curious. When are we going to see that first pit stop? What do you think, Matt?
Well, it depends what the fuel is. I mean, if the tire wear is going to be a big thing as well. I spoke to Gale before the race, and he said tire wear felt really high, and the right front will be really important. So if you start to have higher than the normal tire fall off, especially compared to the leaders, maybe you take a chance being outside the top 10 to come down early. But lap wise, I'm not 100% sure. I don't know what the fuel levels are, so we'll just have to see how far these drivers want to take it. We already did see some takers under that caution, but a lot of it was just for fuel. I don't believe anybody took tires under that.
Yeah, I agree. And, as far as fuel goes, you can get around 80. I just don't think we're going to see it for tire. It just wears off too much here. And I know a couple of drivers were looking at how can they improve the tire wear, running different lines on each turn. So they managed to make it so that they were equal on the fronts and the rears, which is pretty incredible here. So we'll see how that pans out for him. But yeah, it looks like Brendan Book is doing a great job out here, looking very confident and very consistent. Our top 3 drivers, though, they're starting to put a gap over the rest of the field. Brooks Mustaine, he joined us on a road course for his first race. Here he is at Phoenix, and he's already P4.
Having a really nice job, really nice run. He had a very solid qualifying effort and proving off he definitely belongs in Shake and Bake. This, again, two tracks you don't really want to start your career going to, Sonoma and Phoenix, or any road course, and then Phoenix for that matter. But nice job for him moving a little bit up the field, and not like the leaders are starting to gap him a little bit, but he's keeping touch with that 12 car in front of him.
Absolutely. You know what? Things seem to have calmed down just a little bit, and I don't want to jinx it, but let's have a look at the points here. The point standings, Jimmy Cocker, he's going to be in the lead with 394 points. Take a look at P4. We have a nice battle. They are tied, 299 points. Meanwhile, our top 12 drivers, they will be the ones in the chase. And we do have a nice little battle, very, very close down there between Joseph Turley, Luke Allen, and several others. So we're going to have to keep our eye on that. But man, points battle is very, very tight. But Jimmy Cocker, he's got a nice lead out there in first.
And got a bit of a gap to Thomas Harmon. Brody Folliker right now, currently, that could be points, a huge shift in the points. If he can't recover right now, he's the last car running in 28th, 1 lap down. So he's got to be hoping for a caution or two to get himself back on the lead lap. That was our pole sitter, Eliza, and it just shows that I think that damage must have been worse than I thought, because he had to sit. I think he sat there for the full caution to take, and just tactically went down a lap, which you can do at Phoenix.
Yeah.
I've done it in officials. You can just take the penalty, go down a lap, and then they're going to be cautions. Just wait for the caution to get back on the lead lap. But that could be a huge point shift if we get a fully clean race and Brody never gets back on the lead lap. We'll
have to keep our eye on it. I know he's got to be very, very frustrated right now, but I say why things are calm. We got the points. Let's go through the field, show them some love. In the lead, we have Brendan Book in that 5 car doing a great job. He's already gained 2 spots from where he started. Jimmy Cocker gaining 3 spots from where he started, sits P2 in that 11 machine. Fortson Poston, who we've seen a ton of speed throughout this season, he currently sits 3rd. Brooks Mustaine up 4 spots, sitting P4. Steven Maggio, he sits P5 in that 51 car.
Just ahead of the 77 of Austin Mitty. Mitty didn't want to give it up, but Maggio was able to roll the top and get around him. Tristan Health hanging on in that battle as well in 7th position. He's up 4. Joe Berg currently running in the 8th position, leading that next pack. About 9/10 back of that battle for 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. Rob Rosello and Riley Sawyer complete your top 10.
We're going to have Joseph Turley in that 30 machine sitting P11 with Matthew Gale up 7 spots sitting 12th. Travis Stroney in the 14 car. He is sitting P13 with John Velocity, one of our driver spotlights. He is out there 14th, up 11 spots. Absolutely incredible. Craig Myers going to be 15th with Michael J. Adams. He sits 16th. Thomas Harmon up 5 spots to P17. Francis Hamilton in 18th. Jose Ruiz 19th. And Doug Lockrow sits P20th.
Nick Tarana currently leading the battle towards the tail of the field. He's out there 21st, fighting Evan Adams. Actually, as Adams goes to 21st, so that'll drop Tarana to 22nd. Philip Bridgman runs right behind them, Dakota Wilkins runs right behind them in 23rd. Philip Bridgman and Brian Pizzikemi, going by, getting some action towards the tail of our lead lap. Pizzikemi goes by for 24th. Philip Bridgman 25th. Jordan McGraw, our last car in the lead lap, in 26th. Brody Folliker now in the lucky dog position in 27th. We'll still have to keep an eye on that as this race goes on. And then Matt Burgess, last car running in 26th, also 1 lap down. And then Luke Allen, unfortunately, taken out in that early incident. He'll be classified 29th.
All right, back to our leader. Almost a second gap between him and second, which is Mr. Jimmy Cocker. These guys definitely getting away from the field here, but Steven Maggio, he is now in a battle for P3, and it's going to be with Fortson Poston, who had a nice run on the outside as he's heading into the dog leg and out. So absolutely incredible drive right there. These two are going to have a heated battle, no doubt.
Rookie in SnB, who's been here for most of the season, versus the defending champion of the series, who had to miss a number of races, I believe, due to work. So Steven not running for the championship this season, just trying to get wins. He finally got it last week at Sonoma on a dominant performance, trying to find a way around the SnB rookies. He looks to the inside in turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, let's have a look with him. He's on that inside, and you can see Fortson Poston to his outside, and that is a difficult spot right there to already be on the outside and try to not hit that wall. You can see him moving in there in 3 and 4, coming around to the start-finish line where that cactus sits, reminding us of how prickly this track can be. But Steven Maggio, a nice run out here. We'll see who is able to take that over, but that 12, he's going to have that high side momentum.
He did, but Maggio able to clear, and gotta wonder if Fortson maybe burned up his stealth a little bit, given the fact he was running with the leaders, and then now he's dropped back behind Maggio, who is very good on his tires, and now Tristan Health is also closed in on that 12 car. Now we go back to, when do you start to pit? Now that I know the fuel window is like 80 laps, nobody's going to go 80 laps. Like, you can't, you might maybe be able to stretch it on tires, maybe, but if this goes green, I think we'll see a split between like a 1 and a 2 stop race, because I think the time loss here is, even with that shortened pit road, with that cut out of the track, it is, it's not as long as it used to be here, but it's also, it feels like it takes forever, and you don't want to have to risk it, because the pit entry off the turn 2, certainly unique among NASCAR tracks. It's even more unique than the new Echo Park one where we have to pit on the entry to turn 3. So these guys, maybe you do a 2-stop, come in around, you try to split it into thirds. Potentially, we're coming up. If that's the case, you're coming up on it right now.
We're gonna find out soon, but I see you guys out there in chat. What's up? How are you? And we got a Tristan fan out here. He sits P4 up 7 spots, and he is fantastic at saving those tires. So we'll see how that pans out for him, but he's got some pressure being put on him right now, and that's gonna be by Fortson Poston. Meanwhile, Fortson earlier, he was battling it out with Steven Maggio. He has gained 2 spots. He currently sits P3. So we'll see if he can drive down Jimmy Cocker and Brendan Book. But currently, he sits just over 3 seconds behind Jimmy Cocker.
We're talking, what, Steven 3 seconds back of him?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, Steven's come all the way. I mean, he was really saving his tires here. And that 3 seconds, it can go away fairly quick, probably in the span of like 20-ish laps. But if Maggio has a better tire advantage on the guys in front, or better tires than the guys in front, excuse me, he'll be able to run times more consistently on like a level pace than Brendan or Jimmy, and he might be able to start to reel them in a little bit. In fact, last lap, 0.3 quicker than our leader, a 27.6 to Brendan's 27.8, so actually about 0.2 faster. But Steven's closing down the leaders as he got the wall off too. Be careful doing that. Don't want to like bend a toe link on this car. That'll ruin your day here.
Oh, absolutely. And you can see Jimmy Cocker is catching up to Brendan Book just a little bit. Meanwhile, as you were saying, Steven, he has gained several tenths. It is down to 2.5 seconds behind. So, man, he is really closing that gap now. Tristan Health, he is going to be about 4 seconds back, with Poston not too far behind. So these guys really starting to separate, and you can see the track map. Every single part of this track is pretty much filled with cars. They have quite a few packs, and the next pack is going to be started with Brooks Mustang. He's got Riley Sawyer, Joe Berg right there next to him, a pack of 3. Then we're going to have Joseph Turley kind of on his own little island, with John Velocity sitting 11th, leading that next pack.
And that's what Phoenix will do. Just the skill level, how much can you take care of your tires? And it also, even though this is a fixed series, folks, it also comes down to how you set your car up. It can catch you out if you don't have the car capable of being able to rotate just how you need it in these corners. It can burn the tires up, and you can be a talented driver, but it's all too easy. I've seen guys at the skill level of Jimmy Cocker, of Thomas Harmon, guys like that level have problems here because they inadvertently push. They're not trying to go hard, but they overrun their tires. They overheat them, which is such a problem now in iRacing. You get these tires hot, you make them mad. It's so hard to cool them off, especially on a track like this where you're putting so much strain on the right sides to keep that car planted through these left-hand turns.
For sure. We're on board with Brendan Book currently, and he's got Philip Bridgman directly in front of him. I'm kind of curious how that's going to pan out, but you can see Brendan, he did not cut the dog leg. I'm sure that is to save a little bit of tire there. Had very, very tight coming off the exit, but all these guys more than likely shifting down into each corner as he is coming off of exit 3, going past that start-finish line. He's looking solid, but I have a feeling he's going to have some company soon enough.
Indeed. Jimmy Cocker a 10th faster, but I think Jimmy's looking in the mirrors like SVG was at the end of Sonoma and seeing a Toyota closing him down, because here Maggio is catching 0.3 faster than Jimmy Cocker. That gap, I told you, Eliza, it was 3.5 seconds just a few laps ago. It's now less than 3/4 of a second, and the two up front are getting feeling their seats get very warm with that Maggio car closing them down in a hurry.
Yeah, he is doing a phenomenal job. And like I said, he's just fantastic at saving tire and down to just over a second behind Steven is. So he's doing a great job, but you can see he's going to be putting the pressure on that 11 machine very, very shortly. The top 3 drivers are not cutting that dog leg, so you can see that they are really, really trying to save their machines currently.
For sure, and that's something you have to be aware of. Attack versus defense. We always talk about balancing that. You can be hyper aggressive and go across that dog leg, but you put so much strain on, you put more strain on the tires, taking that sharp left to cut time off the lap, which in the short term it'll work, long run it won't, as we see a battle for second. Maggio to the inside on Jimmy, and no fight from the 11. Steven Maggio threw Jimmy right on him off the corner, but the way Steven caught him, only a matter of time now for that 5 car out front of Brendan Book.
Yeah, I agree. You know he's got to be looking in that rear view. Brendan Book, he's a little nervous. He's saying, I got to hold on to this. I don't know if he's going to try to defend that position and block a little bit, but at this point, I don't know that I would. You got to save the tires, and it's just not at the point where I would try to give Steven too much trouble. You can tell he just has a really, really fast machine tonight here at Phoenix.
And he took the best care of the tires of anybody in that top 5, that initial top 5. And at this place, tire wear is everything. And Steven, these drivers have about 11, 12 laps before you hit halfway, and then we probably will see guys start to dive for pit road for the one-stop strategy. And Brendan might just choose to, lose the battle, but try to win the war here, so to speak. Just, if he can't hold Maggio behind, just let the 51 go, tuck in, and just try not to lose too much time before making his pit stop.
If you were here last week and were able to tune into the race, you saw Steven Maggio. He just absolutely dominated the race at Sonoma, and he took the lead here from Brendan Book. So here he is out in the lead, lap 52 of 125. And as Matt said earlier, he did come out here very, very late in the season. A big wobble from that 29 car. Very, very close, but they made it by. But yeah, Steven has just been phenomenal, very consistent, and he came in late, so he does not have a chance at the chase. This guy's coming out here for wins. It does not matter.
He's going to be the ultimate disruptor. This isn't like, me potentially running 1 or 2 races as an in-race reporter. And in these cars, in this league, I'll be lucky for a top 10, Eliza can tell you, from last season. I'm lucky to get a top 10 here in Shake and Bake. Steven is going to be the ultimate disruptor because, like she said, he just wants to win. He doesn't care about points. He doesn't care about anything. He'll do what it takes to win these races. So, not a surprise he's out here at Phoenix. He played the tires perfectly, and now he's got that lead. And you can tell he had more in that Toyota to give. He's running times about 0.3 quicker than the cars behind him. How about Tristan Helf also, Eliza? He's also reeled in our now 2nd and 3rd place runners, and he's putting them under pressure for those spots.
Yeah, we're starting to get stacked up right here. You can see that 3 car. He is not in it for the battle, but take a look. The 11 and the 5 side by side. You got Tristan Helf right behind and a lap car in the mix, so things are starting to really heat up. But Austin Mitty, take a look. He is sitting P5 up 4 spots. I know he is wishing that he was right here in this battle as the 3 flies by, and they are 3 wide, Matt. That was absolute intense.
That's 100%. I mean, and that's something, as a lead lap car, you almost have to take the L as, Jimmy got right to the back of Brendan, and I think lost the air on that Toyota's nose and lost the spot to Tristan Helf. But yeah, what we're seeing right now, we're seeing how much new tires will be an advantage, even for a few laps. I think Brendan Book coming to pit road, first of our leaders to do so. Yes, he is in that 5 car.
Yeah, At this point, I would say absolutely go on in. He knows that his tires, he just needs a new set here. Steven Maggio, he is absolutely taken advantage of these guys battling it out, and he now has almost a 3.5 second lead over Tristan Helf, who has moved up to P2. So these guys still on the run, but my question is, when is Steven going to come in? And if he does, man, that 3 car going right underneath him, I'm kind of curious what they think about that. But when are these guys going to come in? And will Tristan, Jimmy Cocker, everyone else follow as soon as Steven goes in?
That would be a good question. I would honestly, if you're only if you're following Steven right now, if you're gonna, the adage I've heard from a number of people is, if you follow the leader, you're gonna follow the leader. And right now, they're just trying to hope to make it to halfway. You almost want to do what Brendan did, do something different. Because, okay, I don't have the long run pace of Maggio, or arguably even Jimmy or Tristan behind. Get on the new tires, get the advantage, and try to get track position so that if that dreaded what comes out, I'm not going to say it because we're in the middle of we're in the middle of green flagged pit stops, but if something happens, you're now the guy in front of them and you can now take advantage.
Absolutely. We'll see how it works out for Brendan, but take a look. He currently sits P19 and he's got some traffic ahead of him. And one of those cars is the 12 Fortson Poston. He's got Jose Ruiz directly in front. And just take a look at the speed difference from fresh tires to older tires. That's absolutely incredible. And it looks like, man, he had to put on the brakes big time to not hit Philip Bridgman in that 24 machine.
Yeah, and Philip not having fun as Jimmy Cocker comes down. And I think Austin Mitty getting ready to go, Fortson as well, and Brendan going 3 wide around Bridgman and the 48 of Francis Hamilton. But yeah, the tire advantage here just shows how big that is. But if you're Brendan, I know you want to go right now, and he's pretty good on his tires, but you gotta be careful. Don't burn your stuff up right now, because we saw what happened. He got out to that 3 and 3.5 second lead. Probably felt fairly untouchable, and then the 51 showed up. And now Brendan is on the newer tires right now, but as this race goes on, every lap that the guys behind him don't pit, I know we saw Jimmy on pit road, I think Mitty and Poston were coming down as well, but every single lap is going to put him at a slight disadvantage. And yeah, it'll plateau, but with the fall off we saw from the 5, he's gonna need some luck later in the race to try to stay in front of those guys, because he started tumbling a bit.
A little bit, absolutely. You see Brendan Book, he's out there in 15th. Jimmy Cocker comes off the pit lane 17th. His teammate, who we saw, he was on pole, got loose on the first lap. He currently sits 18th, but he is right there where he needs to be, still hoping for a caution. I mean, that's just really what he really needs out there. But Steven Maggio, if you recall last week, he did a whole different strategy, the top few drivers, and he saved the tires, went, wasn't it the entire race at Sonoma without pitting, and locked it down that way.
He did do that, and he did a very, very nice job, just saved the fuel. And we saw a couple other drivers try it and not quite make it work. But Brody did it, or not Brody, I'm sorry, I'm watching Brody on track right now. But Steven did an incredible job, just made it last, and picked up a very, very deserving win there at Sonoma. To be able to pull off that type of strategy, you have to commit early. He did, and did an excellent job.
Steven Maggio, he's still out there on track. Same with Tristan Helf here. Riley Sawyer is going to be third, up 11 positions from where he started. Joe Berg, he's going to be right behind him, trying to take that low side, see if he can gain another spot. And he currently moves up to P3, but they are still side by side. Can he hold on to it? Riley's going to hit the wall just a smidge, and the 93 takes that third spot over.
Nice job from Joe. Clearly has a little bit better tires right now, as we see Matthew Gale going through. He's already come down pit lane. and Brendan Book further out in front of them. I believe John Velocity's coming to pit road. So, and the other thing we have to be careful of, Eliza, is with guys having newer tires versus older tires. We saw it with Evan Adams going through against our leaders. Nearly was a caution right then and there when Brendan slid up and got him in the left rear, almost spinning the 29 at the start-finish line. So you have to be
pit
careful.
lane. Sorry.
No. Good. Yep. Steven down. Smart call. That's going to hand our lead over to Tristan Health. He was running a little bit quicker than Maggio in the final few laps of that run, so that's really impressive. But right now, I mean, Tristan might be trying for the Michael McDowell play of, we're just going to go as long as we can and hope we get lucky. Which, I mean, if he gets lucky on this, he's going to have trapped a number of cars. And that would include Steven Maggio a lap down. That would be huge for him and huge for a number of these other guys trying to stay out and run really long and hope. The problem is, like, even though they'll be on like newer tires, you're gonna have a lot less time to make them work than these guys who have come in around halfway. So we'll see how long some of these guys want to take it.
Absolutely. You can see on the track map here, Tristan Health. You can see where he is on the track on the top part, coming around 3 and 4. Meanwhile, second, Joe Berg is just coming off of turn 2. Thomas Harmon, who was in third, he's going to go onto pit lane and make his first pit stop of the night. But Tristan Health still hanging on there. He started 11th, currently in the lead, so he'll earn a bonus point for leading a lap here, but we'll see when he goes in. I want to find out, we got to find out where our leaders are at currently. Brendan Book sitting P8. Steven Maggio, he is out there in 10th, and Jimmy Cocker, he takes over the 10th spot after Thomas Harmon pits. And yeah, Austin Mitty going to be 11th.
And Brendan is trying to get his lap back the hard way, and if you take a look at it, that is really the tire pace advantage. Brendan doing low 27s, Tristan low 28s, 28.2 for Tristan Health. The last lap through was a 27.2 for Brendan Book, so he's, like I said, he would need a caution to come out right now because there are only 8 cars with Brendan Book on the lead lap. 9th would also get his lap back, but have to start at the tail. This would work out so well for Tristan if he stays out, and nope, he's going to make that call here on lap 74. He's going to bring that 38 down pit road.
Yeah, Brendan Book is his teammate, so interesting to see how that worked out. But Tristan Health on to pit lane. You can see him right there. Joe Berg is going to take over that lead in the 93 car. Jose Ruiz going to be in second in the 23 car, up 13 spots. Tristan Health still holding on to third as he is currently in pit lane. Craig Meyer going to take that over as he is sitting P3 now. So some nice gains for him. Jordan McGraw, we haven't talked a lot about him. He's up 20 spots along with a couple others, Dakota Wilkins and Brian Pizzakemi.
Brian playing some strategy, starting at the back, always tricky to do. It's tricky to do anywhere because it puts you in a bad spot if a wreck happens, and he's done a nice job so far today to keep the 78 nose clean and be running where he is right now. But again, every lap that these guys now stay out further, if we don't get the caution they're hoping for, it's going to put them just that one lap fewer to try to make it up on the new tires. And yes, they'll have a big tire advantage. Some of them almost 20 laps, over 20 laps compared to some of these cars out here. But man, it's going to be tricky if we don't get a yellow. These guys are going to have to absolutely fly to try to get back to even, I think, where they were running on the track prior to the pit stops.
Yeah, so many different strategies. I'm just curious which one is going to win the race here. You see Brendan Book, he's currently sitting 5th. Steven Maggio, he is going to be in 6th, not too far behind. So Brendan Book, we'll see how much longer he can hold on. But remember, as Matt said, different strategies, and he is on a lot older tire than Steven Maggio is. Jimmy Cocker is going to be in 7th, but our leader is Joe Berg. He's got Jose Ruiz still behind him here. We'll see how this pans out, but 78 of 125. This race has been extremely clean. Knock on wood.
Yeah, we only had that early incident with Brody getting loose and hitting the turn 2 wall, and then we had the only caution of the night a few laps later. It's been clean and green so far. Just taking a look at the effective race leader of that's Brendan Book, the first one I believe who's made a pit stop is him in the number 5. He probably doesn't have the gap he was hoping to have to Steven Maggio, because Brendan going into turn 1 right now, and Maggio just about 2 seconds behind him. He's probably sitting there going, I've been in his position and going, oh, come on. How is that gap not bigger? I've been in that position, folks. It's not fun when you pull the undercut and you think, okay, I've got this much time before he gets back to me. And then that time's in half.
It's true. It is so true. And Brendan Book, I mean, he's got 22 lap-old tires currently. Steven Maggio, only 10. And Jimmy Cocker is kind of in between them at 18. So different strategies for sure. And I think that is going to allow Steven Maggio to catch up very quickly. And he is, speaking of quickly, he is right there, right on his bumper. So I have a feeling Steven Maggio is going to make that position his for P4.
Yep, and it will be for the lead on this lap. Joe Berg and I believe it was Jose Ruiz in second. Yes, they are on pit lane. We still, as the battle for the race lead comes by out of turn 2, Book even going a little defensive down the old front straightaway here. I get that confused. Wow. Book trying to hang on. He's going to lead that lap, but I don't know if he's going to lead more than that. Here comes Maggio to the inside for the race lead into turn 1.
Crazy. Jordan McGraw still in the lead, but I'm not sure for how much longer. I know he likes to stay out in the long run. He's going to earn that bonus point there, but take a look. Steven Maggio, he passes up Brendan Book, and he is already on the run and about just over 3 seconds behind Jordan McGraw. Jordan still has to go in, so I'm not sure how much longer he'll be in the lead, but he's got a nice view right now.
Yeah, my apologies for that. I thought everybody had pitted. Jordan hanging on out there. He's the ultimate McDowell strategy play right now. Like, he's probably not even trying to stay in the lead if we get a caution. He just wants to have the better track position if we get one by being in the lead and being able to pit. And that's the interesting thing here as well, Eliza, with everybody except for the 34 now having pit. We'll see if he comes this time. Nope, he's going to stay out. If there is a caution right now, everybody's going to pit. Most everyone is going to pit again because you need the tire. You've been out here long enough where we have enough tire sets, I believe, to where you get that free tire, that free tire stop. And now it could be huge for Jordan because he's effectively jumped a tire set against these guys. He'll have one extra if it comes out right now without him pitting.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, he would be in a great spot, but no doubt I'm with you. If a caution did come out right now, which I hope it does not, I want to see it play out. I'm taking tires. There's no way I'm staying out there. I mean, they're just too important to not take them. But lap 86 of 125, this race has absolutely flown by. You can see Steven Maggio. He is currently sitting P2, and he is already under a second behind our leader, Jordan McGraw, and that is going to close up very, very quickly as Jordan is on very old tires. But Steven Maggio making some contact with the wall. I'm not sure it's going to hurt him any, but that contact is definitely there.
Yeah, and call from the 34. He is going to pit this time, so we'll move the 51 back to the top of the board as soon as he takes the flag on this next lap. Jordan took it as... I believe Jordan was one of those who came down on pit road under that first caution, so he stretched it as far as he could, hoping for the caution, and he unfortunately doesn't get it, but it does put Steven Maggio back to the race lead.
Steven and Brian Pizzikimi side by side, Jose going underneath, and Steven staying very, very high as these guys are getting by here. Brendan Book going to be in second, Jimmy Cocker about 9 seconds back. He sits P3. Tristan Helf is going to be directly behind Jimmy Cocker, sitting P4th. And Austin Mitty, he's going to round out your top 5.
And Riley Sawyer, solid run right now. He currently sits in P6. Thomas Harmon, about 4 seconds behind him in 7th, or outside pole sitter Fortson Poston currently holds down 8th. John Velocity about a second and a half behind him in 9th. And Brooks Mustaine, haven't spoken a lot about him, but he's still having a very solid day out there in the 10th position, trying to hang on with, trying to hold on for that 10th place as he's got Joe Turley right behind him. Oh, as Joe Berg actually, goes up to the top 10 right now.
Man, oh man, what a battle between those two. Joseph Turley just putting the pressure on that 54 machine, but Francis Hamilton, he's going to be right there in the mix, sitting 13th, up 10 spots from where he started. Travis Stroney, he sits 14th in that 14 car. Rob Rossello up 2 spots from where he started, sitting P15. Michael Adams in 16th. Jose Ruiz, we saw him pit. Yeah, he did pit. We saw him currently sitting 17th with Brian Pizzakimi 18th. Matthew Gale, right where he started the race, he sits 19th with Craig Meyer in P20th.
Yep, and Nick Tirana, rounding out our field. Nick Tirana runs in the 21st position. He's the 3rd car, currently 1 lap down behind Gale and Meyer. Dakota Wilkins is 22nd. Jordan McGraw, who made his pit stop just a few laps ago, he is 23rd. The last car 1 lap down. Philip Bridgman sits 2 laps down in 24th. Evan Adams is 25th. Brody Folliker, the pole sitter, just not his night after that contact on lap 1. He's 26th, 2 laps down. Matt Burgess, last car running, currently 27th. And he's the last one running. Dougie Lockrow out early, and Luke Allen was taken out in that early accident. They'll be 28th and 29th.
Yeah, you hate to see it when people are taken out early. Just there's a lot of race, and you want to see them be able to complete it. But take a look at our leader, Stephen Maggio. He is out there 4 seconds in front of Brendan Book, who Brendan has had an incredible race, very, very consistent. And this is coming from a driver who was unsure going into practice what he needed to run, what lines he needed to do, and just trying to grasp at anything. Master cylinders, brake bias. This is one of those tracks where you do want to mess with those master cylinders, and I have a feeling a lot of drivers did the same.
For sure at Phoenix. It's definitely... It's like Darlington. It's also a lot like a road course where you will want to mess with the brake cylinders. Just try to get that right range as well. Like, you want to be in the right range. You want to have a wide enough range to where at the start of the run you'll secure under braking, but then have enough to be able to drop the brake bias down as the run goes on to get the rotation through these corners. It's so tricky to do, and if you don't get it right, you can be one of the best drivers out there. Don't get it right, you're gonna be in for a long afternoon here at Phoenix.
Absolutely. On board with Brendan Book, and you can see tire wear is definitely becoming an issue for him, getting a little loose coming out of some of these corners and diamonding a few right here, trying to keep it real low. It looks like he's going in. I knew it was an issue, but man, he has got to be struggling really hard to go in at this point in the race. So
that's bold.
Yeah, very, very bold. We'll see how it works out. What do you think, Matt?
I mean, if that's really something. I mean, he must really be struggling on those tires and wanting a fresh set. He pitted right in that window where I would have said, okay, a 1 stop, and he'll probably go to the end. That's interesting. If he can get out close enough to the leader, maybe he can get back on. Maybe he can, get back on the lead lap and hope for a caution and try to play strategy. But man, he must have really been struggling. I can't. That's a really interesting and bold strategy call for that 5 car.
I agree. I think what the issue is trying to make up spots after pitting. He just overdrove it, and he had to go back in. I think his car, just too much tire wear for it, and you can tell he was struggling around those corners, and there's really nothing you can do. He's got to be extremely frustrated, but better to get tires and come back out than destroy your car after spinning out because it's just no tires left.
Very true. And although it's not like we haven't seen Brendan spin and win, his only win of the season, I believe, was Bristol, and he spun about 4 or 5 times. I'm slightly exaggerating. He only spun like twice. But he's a master of the spin and win. But yeah, not what you want to have to do at Phoenix. This isn't, Pocono, where you can pit in if you're close enough to the front, you won't lose a lap. Like, he's down a lap currently in 21st, trying to side through the field to try to get in position, maybe to get the lucky dog, maybe to try to go run and get that lap back. But man, he is a lap and a half down. Ooh, he went out there for a good corner.
Yeah, he sure did. And I know he was having issues in practice, so hopefully he doesn't have any more. We'll see, but it's a little scary considering Steven, how good he is at saving those tires. I just don't see Steven going in again. And he's already 10 seconds ahead of Tristan Helf, making it almost 11 at this point. I'm just not sure if anyone can catch him, Matt. This is kind of crazy.
It is, and looking at the track map right now, Brendan is like, the thing is, he's basically 1.5 laps down. Like, he is to Steven. Like, that, it's going to be hard for him to even get back up to Steven to, like, get that lap back the hard way. I think his only hope is to try to feed that first car 1 lap down, but Steven's closing in on 15th right now to try to put 15th a lap down, that car being Brian Pisakemi. So, like, it's just going to get more difficult for Brendan. That hurts to see. One of the dominant cars early, and now he's gonna really be up a certain creek without a paddle if he wants to try to get back into this.
Unfortunately, so true. And I'm watching a couple of other battles that we had out here. We had a nice battle between John Velocity and Francis Hamilton going back and forth, but John, he's going to be in the top 10, sitting 9th with Francis Hamilton, rounding out your top 10 here. Joseph Turley going to be not too far behind, sitting 11th with Jose Ruiz in 12th. But Steven Maggio, just absolutely incredible. Last time I talked about him, he was going to be almost 11 seconds ahead of Tristan Helf. Now he is just over 12 seconds ahead. So this guy is taking care of those tires. Not only that, but he is just absolutely flying. Whatever he is doing, it is working. And he may go back-to-back wins.
There's definitely the possibility of that at this point. If it stays green and he doesn't have Denny Hamlin's luck here, sorry, Jimmy. With cautions, he's gonna be in that spot where right now, 11 seconds, you're nearing in on being half a lap clear of second. That's just unbelievable to me. That's mind-boggling that you're that far in front. And guys who pitted like around or like after he did, who are usually like pretty quick, like Brian Pisakemi, who's tail end of the lead lap. Brian's hanging on to it right now, but you would expect Brian to be able to kind of drive away from Steven, I believe, having a little bit newer tires, and instead he's just stuck there. And now that could be dirty air. I know, the dreaded dirty air, but it's really interesting. Steven's just taking care of his equipment, and he's still gaining. That's the scary thing, because second is running comparable lap times, but Tristan is, just for reference on this track, Steven's into turn 1. Tristan's leaving turn 4 right now. Like, that's just unbelievable.
Yeah, I'm on board with him, and he's just making little taps to the wall, but he is off the throttle for such a long time, just letting it coast and then getting on the throttle again pretty late. So he is just really, really taking care of those tires. Just an impressive run for him tonight once again. And he is right on the heels of that 78 of Brian Pisakemi. We'll see if Brian is just easily going to let him go by, or is he going to make him work for it. But he is almost 12.5 seconds in front of Tristan Helf, and you can see Steven going, try to see on the high side, but he doesn't have enough, and I don't think he's going to try to burn all the tire that he can, so he's going to take it low, take it that way.
He's going to try, but, I mean, if you're you're Brian, you want to try to stay on that lead lap if you can. And Brian has like the same tires, and he's about as good as Steven. So rolls that top out of 2, stays in front of him. And if you're Maggio, I don't know how much you want to push it, because like the gap you have, if you tap Brian sideways and the caution flies, that gap, that 12, 13 second gap that you're enjoying, that right now nobody's going to catch you with under 15 to go from that far back. That gap goes away if you get too aggressive trying to pass a lap car. So just run, be careful. If you can get him, but be hyper vigilant and don't bring out the caution. That's the last thing that Steven wants to see is the yellow fly.
I agree. And Tristan Helf, he's almost 12 seconds behind. So he is. This whole battle is definitely holding up Steven right now. But Tristan Helf, he's gonna have Jimmy Cocker on him not too long from now. Take a look at these guys. You can see both of them on your screen. So that battle is definitely heating up. I'm not sure when Jimmy, or if Jimmy can even make it up to Tristan. But if he does, I think that is going to allow Steven Maggio to gain even more time. But man, Steven is in heavy traffic trying to make it around all these cars, and he's got to have the patience of a saint right now.
100%. He timed it. He waited to go around Brian. I saw what happened. Brian was getting overtaken by Travis Stroney. So he got on the outside out of 2, and Steven just sort of timed up his run, got to the right rear on the straightaway, and just rolled the top past Brian. I think that was going to be really Brian's only legitimate chance to try to stay on the lead lap. And now Travis is going to try to stay on the lead lap in front of Steven. I know Steven would love that clean air, and he's probably going, let me through. But, like, they don't have to. Like,
no.
These guys, like, if you're Travis, like, if you stay on the lead lap and a caution comes out, you're back in the fight. Brian is as well, but Brian would be in a worse spot because he'd have to go to the tail of the field getting the lucky dog. But he doesn't have to get out of the way. He's trying to do everything he can to keep himself on the lead lap and give him that hope that if the caution comes out, he can get back into position to maybe have a shot at this thing at the end. It's like Maggio inside, and Travis, again, it looks like getting into the corner. Steven gets really good run into the corner, and Travis just solid job coming back out of it. And I think Steven's going to have a little bit better on the inside this time. He does clear him, so we have 12 cars on the lead lap here in Phoenix with 10 laps, less than 10 to go.
I know, this is crazy. He lost a couple of seconds trying to battle all these lap cars out here. The least thing he wants to do is have Travis catch back up to him. He is really cutting that dog leg down there. And I'll tell you what, the last lap when he cut it, I honestly thought he cut it so hard, I thought he got loose and wrecked. I'll be honest. So it scared me for a second, but he's doing anything he can to get out in front of these drivers and get that clean air once again. He's got Joseph Turley directly in front of him. He's going to take the low side and just roll it around there and takes over that spot. It is not for position. He is in the lead, but that gives him that clean air that he does great in.
And that's so good for him. And now he's seeing these guys behind him going 3 wide for the lucky dog. I can guarantee he's just like, please don't. Because 3 wide at Phoenix often leads to problems, even with how wide turns 1 and 2 are. Oh, I can guarantee you that was a moment of him looking in the mirror and going, oh, please don't.
So true. And not a car. We're on board with Steven Maggio looking out his, a car in the wall here. That's going to be Joseph Turley still on the run. We got 7 to go, and he's just hoping keep it green, as Matt and I both said. But there is not a car, second place or third place, that is in that group of cars directly behind Steven. So Tristan and Jimmy Cocker, if they catch up to them, they're going to have a lot of traffic to go through.
Yeah, and Steven's going to have something go catastrophically wrong right now. Like, even the gap coming down a little bit with Steven having to work his way through traffic, and Tristan closing the gap to under 10 seconds. He does have the tire advantage to the 51, but now he's going to have, if something happens, all Steven's done is put a ton of cars in between himself and the 38 and the 11. And while they won't fight second as hard as they fought first, it's still going to be traffic that they have to work through and dirty air they have to work through. So, but again, without a caution here in the later stages, I don't think Steven's going to have any problems, and he's going to be able to run it home clean, provided, again, he doesn't have Denny Hamlin's luck here at Phoenix.
I agree. We got 4 to go now, and Thomas Harmony's going to be your biggest gainer in the top 5. He is up 18 spots from where he started. He started 22nd, currently in the top 5, sitting P4th. Joe Berg having a fantastic run. He sits in 5th currently. Riley Sawyer in 6th, but Steven Maggio, he's out there just over 10 seconds ahead of Tristan Helf. And Jimmy Cocker falling back a little bit. So I think Tristan Helf, if he keeps it clean and underneath him, he's going to bring home a 2nd, Jimmy Cocker a 3rd. But the story is not over yet. You guys know how it goes. If anything can happen, it usually does. But it's been a very, very clean race here at Phoenix Raceway. 3 laps to go. Will it be Steven Maggio? You guys let me know in chat. It's coming down to the wire here. 2 to go.
Yeah, and all Steven wants to see right now is he wants to get that 51 car around. He wants to see that white flag. He wants this over. Because anything happens on that, once he's seen the white flag, it doesn't matter. We're not getting a caution. Nobody's bunched up to him. Into three for the penultimate time. He'll come through the corner, and white flag in the wind for Steven Maggio, trying to cap off a great drive here at Phoenix.
Man, oh man, take a look at this. He is making his way around the corner here. Not a lot of traffic ahead of him. We got 11th, which is going to be John Velocity out in front of him, but that is not going to affect him in any way. He's coming around, and here we go. He's going to hit that start-finish line for a 2nd win. Back to back, here we go. He won Sonoma. He won here tonight at Phoenix Raceway. A huge congratulations to Steven Maggio in that 51. Our previous champion from last season. This guy is coming in here mid-season and just winning races. Man, oh man.
Yeah, and Tristan Helf comes home 2nd. Jimmy Cocker holds on to 3rd. He was starting to drop time to the 4th place car of Thomas Harmon, but he holds on for that 3rd place finish. Thomas Harmon 4th, and Joe Berg will come home in the top 5. We had 11 cars out of 29 finish on the lead lap tonight.
Isn't that crazy? Absolutely insane. And Joe Berg in 5th, Riley Sawyer in 6th, Austin Mitty 7th, Fortson Post in 8th, Francis Hamilton 9th, and Jose Ruiz going to round out your top 10 as we see our winner here celebrating in that 51 machine. And it's his car. I love the back of it. It says, "It's a me, Maggio."
Yeah, definitely was. And once the didn't have to, guys around him didn't get to see it that much once he took off. Once he took off, they didn't see it was Maggio for a long time tonight.
Yeah, that is for sure. We're going to watch him celebrate. Got to get him in the booth here, so I'll page him up here. But man, what an incredible run. And that is after last race at Sonoma. He had an incredible run there also. But man, clean race. I'm not sure if you guys know how our previous races have gone at Phoenix. We were expecting a few cautions, I will say. People in chat were talking about it in Discord, but 1 caution right at the start, and we were clean the rest of the time.
Very impressive considering how hard these cars are to drive normally, and then you have Phoenix, which is definitely not an easy racetrack to drive at. As Maggio, I think he's headed for victory lane. One of the nice things about iRacing, they did updates to some of these tracks where you can actually now drive into victory lane when it's inside the track, and yes, he's going to take the right-hand turn and bring that Nintendo number 51 into victory lane here at Phoenix. Got to get him up here in the booth as he burns his way into victory lane.
Oh man, very nice. Some nice pictures going to be happening right there. But huge congratulations to Steven. We're going to go ahead and give an interview to Mr. Tristan Helf. Finishes P2, up 9 spots from where he started. Tristan, take us through your race. You saw a lot of tire saving going on for you. How was it for you?
Well, let's just start with qual. All right. So I stepped on my own, if you want to say, in qual, and that put me back quite a bit. So then we get the green. I'm just biding my time. And I don't know. I was just able, the dirty air was real bad. I was able to pick up a spot here or there. I think they were all pushing too hard in dirty air. And sad to see what happened to Brody. My friend Sasha's probably excited, pumped about that. Not her favorite driver, by the way. But anyways,
Ouch.
yeah. Yeah. So that happened, and then Evan's little whatever happened that gave us our first yellow. Rack 'em, stack 'em. Just was hanging out, and Maggio was just Steven was just able to get through traffic way better than I could. I was probably being a little bit more conservative than he was, and then once he got clean air, he was gone.
Yeah, he was definitely gone. Had a great race, but you had a very consistent one too. Is there anything that you could have done differently to grab that win?
Yeah, qualified better. Clean air.
Yeah,
Clean air.
I hear you on that one. It's a tough race out here. You got any battles that you want to shout out that you had tonight?
It was so early in the race with all the battle. I mean, Mitty and me a little bit, Jimmy a little bit, you know. But it was all tough. It was all different tire strategy and saving, and it's just it all worked out how it worked out, and I'm got another good points night. That's all that matters.
Yeah, you're in fourth, tied for points with Austin Mitty. So another great night for you. And I know next week we're headed to Chicagoland. How do you feel about Chicagoland?
Way better. I'm so happy to be back to a mile and a half. You have no idea.
All right. Well, we'll see how it plays out for you then. But congratulations, P2 for tonight here at Phoenix.
Thank you.
All right, Matt. We're going to have you give the winner an interview. Steven Maggio does an amazing job once again. Gets that win.
Indeed, Steven, Matt up in the booth for the second straight week. I get to talk to you. Great job, man, driving up through the field. What allowed you to have that much of an advantage over the rest of the field? Because at one point you led by, nearest makes no difference, a half a lap in that final run to the checkered flag.
I think I was just saving my tires pretty good. Phoenix has a lot of tire wear when it goes green. I think it kind of Phoenix gets a lot of hate because in races where there's a lot of cautions, it's really hard to pass when everyone's on fresh tires and stuff like that. But when it goes green like tonight, which was really fun, it has a lot of tire wear, and it would have even more. It actually has even like meatball capabilities. Like you'll have a flat tire if the track is really hot. So I love it. I love the track, and I was just kind of biding my time at the beginning of the run, and I didn't think I was really even going to be that great because I had that spin, which kind of takes a little bit of life out of your tires. I haven't gotten a chance to see like if that was my fault or not. I hope it wasn't, but I was kind of just going to be patient and see what the car gave me and see how everyone else was doing, and they got out to a pretty decent lead, but I was confident I was saving my tires well. And then once we got a certain amount of laps in, I started shifting down to third and 3 and 4, and that was giving me a crazy amount of entry into 3. I mean, I'd say at least half the time I was gaining every lap was just into 3 alone. And then I'd get a good drive in third gear off of 4 as well. And that helped me gain a lot on those guys, I think. And I just had tire life left at the end of the run. So overall, I'm really happy with the race. It was really fun to have green flag laps like that. I know Phoenix doesn't really, like, people see Phoenix on the schedule and they get scared it's going to be a caution fest, but this was the opposite, and it was a blast.
Indeed, it was a definite blast to watch from the booth. Yeah, you nearly had that, and it almost got ended for you early on lap 4 when I think it was Evan Adams got into you into turns 1 and 2. How did you save that? Because you were flat out sideways, and like we've seen, and Eliza and I have discussed this in the booth, like at least 8 times out of 10, when somebody gets as sideways as you do and they correct it, the car grips and you're back and you immediately spin to the outside wall. How the heck did you save that race car?
Yeah, so basically exactly what you said. A lot of people I'll see, they get sideways like that, and your first instinct is to turn right to correct it. But I knew that the car was kind of self-right itself for the most part, because I still had a lot of, like when he hit me, it gave me speed. So that kind of helped me, you know, to help the car naturally right itself. So I was actually turning to the left when the car, like pretty much right away. I mean, I turned right at the very beginning, but then once I realized how sideways I was and there was no way I was gonna naturally save it, that I just actually turned the wheel probably, I don't know how much left, but I turned it left. So that way when it corrected itself, it wouldn't overcorrect into the outside wall. And yeah, I was lucky that I didn't have any damage so I could stay out. And I thought the tires were gonna be a little bit worse, but they were all right. So I was able to kind of just continue without any real harm.
Gotcha. Were there any battles coming up through there that you wanted to shout out from tonight?
Uh, Not particularly. Everyone was really respectful on track. I think honestly the hardest cars to pass were two of the lap cars at the end there, Travis and Brian. I had let Brian go when he was on new tires because I'm not gonna sit there and hold up a guy who's on 5 tires. But then he burned his stuff up and I caught back up to him and he was not letting me go. Like I even got to his inside and he was battling back on the outside. So I was like, oh man, maybe I shouldn't have let him go. But I was able to get around him. And yeah, but other than that, everyone was, not racing me super hard, so that was cool and happy I was able to get it done.
Gotcha. Well, 2 in a row. We go to Chicagoland next week for 107 laps. Can you try to make it 3 in a row?
Can I'm not sure. I sh I should be home. If I'm home, I'll probably race, but I'm not 100% sure if I'm gonna be home from 4th of July weekend yet. But if I'm home, I will probably try to race. So we'll see.
Gotcha. Well, congratulations on the win. Great job tonight, Steven. Congratulations again, and hopefully we see you next week for Chicagoland, man.
Thank you guys. Have a good one. God bless.
Yep. Yep, you too. All right, Eliza, our third place finisher, Mr. Jimmy Cocker.
Yeah, Jimmy bringing it home, P3. You gained 2 spots from where you started, but take us through those first couple of laps. Your teammate was having an issue there in the lead. How scary was that of a situation?
Not scary for me, but I do feel really bad for him. He's the only guy, all due respect to the rest of the field, but Brody is very good at Phoenix and very good at these flat tracks like New Hampshire and so on. I think he was the only guy that really could have given Steven a run for his money. Steven is elite in this next gen car. If you thought he was good in the Gen 6 car, he is unbelievable in the Gen 7 car, next gen. So yeah, I feel bad for Brody, happy for Steven. Yeah.
I feel you on that. Take us through your race and battling it out with Tristan, trying to get that second position and going back and forth. How was it trying to take over those positions? Was it difficult with that dirty air?
It really, honestly, I think he was just toying with me. He knew that he had ran me down. He was on about 5 or 6 lap fresher tires. He knew once he got around me, he had the clean air. He could start kind of backing down just a little bit, save a little bit in reserve to get a little more on the back end. It was a really good move on his part because I was pushing. I had pit 5 laps. I only had 12% on my tire in that first pit stop. I was on the rims. So he could come down a little bit later than me. He was able to kind of get a little bit more on the back end than I was, and you gotta look at it in the long term that I could go up there and try to battle him and wear my tires out, but if I blow a tire and finish, I don't know what's the end of the lead lap, 11th, that'd be behind Harmon. That'd be losing on the cut or on the points lead. So in the long term, it was just more beneficial for me to save back there and keep my P3.
Well, you are in the points lead. How comfortable are you with that lead? Do you still feel the pressure, or are you kind of situated and feeling pretty confident?
I feel pretty confident in my speed this season. Just about anywhere we go, I feel like I can get a top 5. But obviously, Chicagoland is not one of my better racetracks. This is kind of my stretch of racetracks where I tend to struggle. Sonoma, Phoenix, and Chicagoland are 3 of my worst racetracks on the service. So we're kind of just trudging along. We were able to steal one in Pocono, so we were able to kind of keep things a little bit regulated there on the points. But I think you're gonna see Harmon is gonna gain a little bit on me in the next week.
We'll see what happens. But you do have 3 wins so far. When is the next track that we might see another Jimmy win?
Oh my goodness, you're gonna make me pull up the schedule. Hold on.
I'm putting you on the spot, aren't I?
Okay. Chicagoland, no.
Nashville.
Nashville, that's another Steven Maggio win, by the way. Echo Park, no. Indianapolis, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe. Iowa, absolutely not. Dover, I've tended to be pretty good at. So I'll probably say, I'll say Dover. I think Dover's a fast track for me. So
All
if we can
right.
just keep getting the good finishes up till then, I'll be very happy.
Absolutely.
He's leaving Daytona off the schedule, Eliza, and we already saw what happened when we went there the first time.
Right. He has a few Daytona wins, so.
But Matt, you see, like, I'm very good in the 500, and then if you look at my summer race finishes, I think I finished 3rd one year because the whole field wrecked. But outside of that, I finished like, I'm pretty sure I finished like 18th and 28th in the other 2. So I don't know if that's one that's on the list.
Fair enough.
Watch him win it.
We'll see. We will see for sure. Well, you did great tonight, rounding out the podium here. So huge congratulations, Jimmy. You had a great race for sure.
Awesome. Appreciate y'all.
All right. That is it for us tonight, you guys. What a race here at Phoenix. A lot of action going on throughout the field. Very clean race. Steven Maggio getting 2 wins in a row. We'll see what happens next week at Chicagoland, but I'm excited to see what's going to happen here, Matt.
Absolutely. Chicagoland, one of my all-time favorite racetracks, even in this next-gen car where dirty air is a huge problem on the 1.5 miles. It's fast. It's not quite a flat back straightaway. You do have to watch out. There's a slight curve to that back stretch, but these drivers should know how to handle it. We'll see how they handle that high-speed 1.5 miles in Joliet, Illinois next week.
All right. We will see you guys next week. Have a great night. Thank you so much for tuning in and supporting the drivers and the broadcast. We will see you guys next time. Take it easy.
Take care, everybody.